Good morning and welcome to the Forex Daily Update, brought to you by Pepperstone on Thursday the 7th of December 2017. I'm Darren Sinden and you can follow me throughout the day on Twitter by using @ds_Pepperstone. Right, let's take a look at overnight changes and price moves to be aware of. Not much movement in traditional Forex pairs, as you can see, a fairly bland column here. But if we go down to the bottom of the table and look at Bitcoin, you'll notice it's trading with a $14,000 handle. Yep, that's right, $14,000, up by some $593 or 4.35%, bringing gains this week to a total of 42.9%. It seems to be relentless, doesn't it? So one definitely to keep an eye on throughout today and the rest of the week. What's on the calendar then? Events that may move the markets today. It's a pretty busy calendar today. I've distilled it down to the key events for brevity's sake, but let's just flag what we've had already. At 12:30 GMT we had trade balance data for October out of Australia, and we'll look at that in a bit more detail momentarily. We've also had leading economics index data and coincident index data for October out of Japan. That was out at 5 AM this morning. To come, just as we're doing this recording, we'll have Swiss unemployment for November, and then jumping forward to 10 o'clock GMT, we'll have European GDP, or Eurozone GDP I should say, for Q3, both year on year and quarter on quarter. So that's a key data point to be aware of there. 13:30 this afternoon, it's a Thursday, so it means we've got continuing and initial jobless claims data to consider. Of course, that's important ahead of tomorrow's non-farm payrolls data. And then at 3 o'clock GMT, PMI data out of Canada for November. And at 4 o'clock GMT, ECB President Mario Draghi takes to his feet to speak, so that's worth watching, of course, as ever. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, we'll have consumer credit change data for October out of the States. Right, breaking news and comment that's caught my eye. Well, let's start with Australia's trade balance data. The data for October is the smallest since April and is more than 1.4 billion Australian dollars below forecast. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Exports from Australia experienced a negative 6% swing from September's read. So they were minus 3% versus September's plus 3% gain. Very unclear about that. Maybe it's seasonal, but keep your eye on the Aussie dollar as a result of that. Elsewhere, the Turkish President will meet his Greek counterpart today in Athens for talks. This is the first such visit for 65 years. Hopefully there's a thawing there of relations between those two countries. A Saudi prince has emerged as the buyer of that Da Vinci painting. You'll remember a lost Da Vinci sold for $450 million recently. And the Australian Stock Exchange has chosen a blockchain-based equity clearing system, which will be implemented in the future. Okay, food for thought, something to take away with you into the trading day. And why not think about this? We've all got used to the idea of a move back towards normalised monetary policy this year, particularly in the developed economies. But in fact, this has not yet been the case. And the balance sheets of the Swiss National Bank, the Bank of Japan and the ECB are still growing as a percentage of their GDP as QE continues. And this chart from Bloomberg shows us those changes and asks the question, who is the world's biggest currency manipulator? A slightly tongue-in-cheek question, I think. Nonetheless, the sentiment is worth being aware of. Right, please take a moment to read the risk warning. Trading CFDs and foreign exchange on margin can be a risky business. If you are in any doubt about those risks or the suitability of the products for you, then please do contact your Pepperstone account representative.